Okay, well that's basically 2 cards down. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more cards to go. And the one in the camera, so we've basically got 5 cards down. So basically that takes 2 cards of gas bagging and filming on the road to get to the site basically. And maybe 2 cards to gas bag out if we make a really big discovery, or you know, as I said, if I found a whole wall of Bonata, I'd be spending at least a whole card, maybe 2 cards on it, depending on how good it is, you know. Just a basic Bonata find, I would say, is a whole 45-minute card, filming it from every aspect, taking some decent photographs, which does. Now I think I'm going to go up here and then down, if I remember rightly. If I'm trying to backtrack, you might want to check with with the clips, which I haven't put up online yet, but when I do, there's some nice likenage on the rocks there, likenage on the rockage. And from now on we'll get all sorts of bulbous, cormous and tuberous plants sort of waking up and putting things, you know, up through the soil surface and growing up and putting up flowers and stuff. And yeah, height looks absolutely wonderful on the rocks against this pea plant. I don't know if that's the same plant as the one I saw with those lovely sort of what looked like proteoid roots or something, but I wouldn't put an Australian native past having some sort of proteoid leguminous combination. I mean, it would be distinctly adventitious, wouldn't it? And I think I somehow got down there or something, but anyway, we'll give it a go. I'm looking for a white bag, fellas, so if you see a white bag at the corner of one of these clips and I'd miss it, we may have to come back a 3rd time. But as I said, this is like the 3rd time, or the thrice push through the bushland to hopefully find this bloody pool, because if we find it, we'll gauge what we could get up the road, because there's another one up the road that's, as I said this morning, it looks like it's 3 times as big. I don't know how these things are, whether they're just like sinkholes, you know, like some sort of cast has fallen away, or what, whether they're man-made at all. But anything bigger than, whoa, jelly mould. Now that's what I'm talking about, fellas. Look at that. That's the surface of the soil, and my foot has gone through about what looks like half an inch to an inch of jelly mould and just went sliding. You get on a slide like that, and you're on anything steeper than this, and basically you're toast. You know, you're not. See, look at that. See the way it's sticking to my boot. So even if you go to try and stand in another location, you're going to be standing with bloody jelly mould on the bottom of your shoes, and you're just going to go sliding. So basically, you've got a really narrow window between the end of the dry and the beginning of the wet to get out, have a look at something before the jelly mould jellies up, and you have the potential of just go. I mean, it's only steeper than that. You just go, and you literally could build up some speed and just go flying off there. If you don't kill yourself, you're probably going to break something, like a leg or an arm or something. I mean, I fell over twice last time I was here, so, and I wasn't even trying. But hopefully, somewhere down through here, we're going to see, you know, I'll get through there and down a bit. We'll get to see a white bag just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. And I'll be able to retrieve my walkie-talkie, and we can get back to doing what we started to enjoy, I think. Oh Jesus, pot out here. I always like looking at the coating on the bottom of these things to find out. Oh, look at that. Jeez, it must have been there a while. What about, is it a Geddak pot? No, it's a Smith and... Hang on, maybe this should be the beginning clip here. Got to get a screenshot of that. Smith and Nephew. My God, that sounds like a, you know, a last century sort of name. Are they both Smith and... No, this one's a Walter Bar. Enfield, New South Wales. Oh, we have an Enfield in South Australia, but made in Australia. So we've got an Australian one, and one that sounds like it could be a Pommy Bastard refugee or something. But anyway, like our so-called Prime Minister. He doesn't seem to be for Australia at all. He seems to be like anti-Australia or something, you know. Anything, the fair go? No, not having that. That's Australian. You're the bloody Prime Minister of Australia, mate. It's not bloody Abbott land, although it certainly feels like it. Now, I'm just going to keep walking through there along the edge and just looking down around, just looking for a white bag, hopefully. And oh, chicken wire. So yeah, it sounds like it was like some sort of marijuana installation or something. It didn't quite work out, or maybe it did work out, and that's why we're only finding the pots. Everything else is gone. So, well, so far I haven't seen anything. Oh well, we got some. Yeah, there was definitely some of these around when I started getting up from the ground. Because basically I fell over twice. My bag felt like it got snagged once. It may have even been them, which is like, that'll be way in the distance there, if it is. But maybe we won't even find the bag today. Maybe someone online has gone back here and picked it up just as a bit of a joke, so that I'll never find it. Or they'll show it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's interesting, it is. Well, I'm really glad about that little incident with the jelly mould today, because some people just don't really understand. They don't believe you. They think, oh, a bit of jelly mould. You're over exaggerating. No, from today's footage, you know, I'm not over exaggerating. Especially if we go back to the promised land there, where some interesting prey foliage are. You're really asking me to risk my life going in there. So to have a look at it at the best time of year. So. Which is basically now, if you want to look at prey foliage, this is the time, and I can't see any. I'm just looking for handles or any little bit of white, and this sort of whiteage. So I've set my mind to scan and locate anything that's this sort of whiteage. So basically, I'm just jacking to you on basically automatic control, basically. So I'm just talking a load of garbage. But my eyes and my mind are scanning the vegetation all around here, just for a bit of just the dog ears of the bag or something like that, just sticking up, a little bit of white out the corner. So if I just talk to you a whole load of smaking garbage, can you just please accept that I'm just talking crap, because my mind is set on just scanning the horizon for any bit of whiteage. Of this sort of white, you know, that sort of titanium white. But as you can see, we've got some Banksias out, and some of them are fading fast. But I mean, if we don't find it, it's just going to be a case of going back to the car and just doing what we do, and unless Abbott land goes back to being Australia again, I don't think I'm going to get a chance to splash out another $38 to get another pair of walkie-talkies, unfortunately. So that's why I'm making the effort today, to try and retrieve the bag. Also, I like my clock, though I prefer my green one, and I would even prefer a turquoise one of the same sort of style and model and make, but I've never really been able to see a, you know, I don't want a dark one, I don't want a really light one. I want something that's in between, a nice turquoise, fluorescent turquoise blue that's somewhere. So not that really light Nivea blue they have on some of, what's it, lip balm or something that my son seems to get occasionally, because he has a lot of dry lips sort of thing. But see, it could be a case of just sort of going down and back and down and doing it in like 20 or 30 metre chunks to try and find this thing. Because as I said, I was climbing back up at a 45-degree angle, and I reckon it was just before I started doing that. So you know, you can cover I can cover quite a lot of distance at 45 degrees when I'm just sort of bounding through the bush, not really looking for anything. And it's probably time to start a new clip, otherwise it would take all night to upload this. I mean, it could even just like be behind a bush up there, and I just can't quite see it. So yeah, maybe it's a case of doing a zigzag up and down around this sort of little mountain area or something like that. Anyway, start a new clip.